Yep, you know what that sound means. It means that we are on to part 3, I guess, of the build series of turning the old army truck into a firefighting truck. So today's plan, mission, goal, whichever you want to call it, we are going to get the pump mounted up, essentially. That's the plan. Pump mounted up and in place. And then from there, we can build the framework around that whenever. But the pump is the main one. We want to get that done today, get that sorted, and then, yeah, we'll be one step closer to having this thing ready to go fight fires. For those who are new to the channel, welcome. I'm JH, and this is my farm, Tom's Brook. And you've stumbled upon us getting our ex-Australian Army truck ready to be a firefighting truck. And today's mission is to mount this pump up here onto the frame and get that working. If you haven't already watched, go watch part 1. That's where we stripped the whole army truck down, got all the old, it's an old fuel truck. So we got all the components off of that. I highly recommend seeing that one first. Part 2 was just us mounting that, well, putting that in place, basically doing a lot of talking and getting everything right and measuring up. And then now is the day that we're going to get it on. And I've got all the steel behind me there, and there's steel over there. So we'll, yeah, we've got a bit of building to do, but yeah, it's going to be one hell of a weapon. Okay. Yep. You got it. Yep, just put it straight down. You good? Yep, you're good. Just leave it there. Right. Hang on. Yeah, no. The radiator? Radiator. Yeah. Do you want to just grab that and get that so it's lifted? So this is a big step for us. We got the motor up there, which is exciting. So this here is the old fuel reel. The fuel reels were on here, and what we did, we tried with, if you have a look here, we did cut these holes a bit bigger. We flipped it around the other way so that was going to be the start of our deck. That was going to be the base of our deck, and then this was low. So this was probably about down where my hand is, which we weren't happy with. You know, we came back the next day, we had a discussion, we said, well, we weren't happy with it because it was the lowest point. You know, in the middle of the frame of the wheelbase. As soon as we went over a culvert or bushes or, you know, whatever, sandbank, that would hit, the pump would be the first thing to hit. So we decided, no, we want this up level with the chassis, which it is now. And we're going to reuse this hose reel mount because it's a good solid piece of steel, and why not use something that's already there. When we were doing all our measuring, we were assuming or thinking that what we would do is we would probably lower it by about 1 inch. So put drill hole there, lower the whole frame down, because we're working off this platform here is our base. So that's our level. And if you have it, don't worry about this. This is going to go up the top, but our radiator is going to hit. So it looks like we will need to lower this one down just that inch, just so that we're clear. This is, well, the platform will actually be on top of this. So I guess you might just clear, but yeah.
Probably want a bit more room
than just that, yeah. Someone standing on it and hitting it, and yeah. So we'll go back to the, well, probably get a texter and get it all ready to take off and drill. So what we've done is we've put another steel beam up and then put one on across it, because that gives us our height. So the deck height will be here, And as you can see, there's probably about 3 mils of clearance there. So the checker plate over here is what we're using. So this is what we'll be standing on when we're fighting our fires. This is 5 mil thick, so it's quite thick steel. It won't bow or flex a huge amount, but it will flex a little bit. Will it flex enough in between our cross beams that it's gonna, hit the radiator? Look, probably not, but we're gonna lower it. We're gonna lower it down probably about 2 inches. So Henry just reminded us also that we've got, we're gonna be putting our rubber mat underneath it, so that is a, what's the word? Engine mount, so that that's there, and then at least we've got some vibration absorption for the motor. So this here is 1 inch thick, so we want to lower this down at least 2 inches just to give us that that clearance. So we'll take it all off. We'll hopefully get all 4 of our holes in the correct spots, and yeah, we'll put it back up, and then we'll be able to weld this frame on and bolt her in.
You alright?
So Henry's using a step drill. For those who might be unaware of what a step drill is it quite literally just steps up in size as you go, and it makes it really easy for drilling bigger holes. We don't exactly have anything here that's the right size. We need a 16 mil, I believe. We've got a 19 mil. The problem with the hardware store being an hour and 20 minutes away is, yeah, you gotta make do with what you got. So we'll see how we go with that and see if that works. Well, it sounds like he's already got through on those holes.
Deep fit drill works very well.
Makes life a lot easier. So we've, well, I say Henry's drilled that one side in. We checked it and it fits perfectly. So he's just measuring up the other side there. And then I think we were going to flip this one around as well, but that one could be at a later date, or we were either just going to box it out. But while he's doing that, there were a couple questions on, I think it was part 1 of, or even part 2, whatever it was, of, I guess, the necessity of a fire truck, and why are we, or basically what's the go? Why are we having to build one ourselves? Isn't there a brigade around? So for anyone who isn't aware, in rural Australia there isn't fire brigades. There is a volunteer bushfire brigade, which we are obviously all part of. We have got 2 brigade trucks, so I'll have to try and find a photo of one, and I'll put one up now so you can see what it looks like. It's got the blue and red lights, it's got the 2-ways, it's got the crew protection, it's 4,000 litres 4-wheel drive, so it's a 4.4. So that is crewed by us, by farmers around here. So if there is a fire on our property, by law, obviously we have to have, I think it's 1,000 or 2,000 litres of water in order to go harvesting. You're not allowed to go harvesting without a fire unit in the paddock. So everyone has to have a fire unit for starters. And then if a fire starts in our paddock, it can be half an hour before the neighbour can arrive, and even though the neighbour is right next door, it can be up to half an hour that you're waiting for them to to come and assist. So that is the reality of it. And those brigade trucks, they normally tend to be the last ones to get there, or middle to last, because on the WhatsApp group, fire, Tom's Brook, assistance needed. People are like, yep, we'll grab the brigade truck, need a crew, blah, blah, blah. It takes time to get people there to the shed and then get down. So that's why we've gone for a absolute beast of a weapon, 11,000 litres. And then, yeah, the idea is that we will be able to not put the fire out by ourselves, but be able to do a fair bit of damage to the fire. We've also got, like I mentioned in one of the other videos, this is our remote cannon nozzle. So Tom, my cousin, bought this and then he's given it to us. we're still talking about where we're gonna put this. We'll go, once we mount this up, we'll talk a bit more about this and our plans. But this here is a remote nozzle so that we can operate it from in the cab. And yeah, with our pump, we should be able to shoot this, 20, 30 meters. So yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to mounting this pump up and the next steps. But yeah, to answer the question of the brigades, we are the brigades. We there's no paid fireys down here, so it's all up to us, which is why everyone is spending all the money, or to upgrade their equipment or have the big equipment like we've got here. As soon as that starts, it just eats it like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
Get yourselves a step drill. Ooh. Just come out on yours a little bit. Slowly down at that. Watch that motor. It's in position, that's where it's going. We've got enough room, I think that it's clear back here. We don't want to go any further back because we've got to deal with all this sort of stuff here. And we don't want to go any further forward because we're trying to have enough room here that we can have a like a big box, well, a little bit of a box go up here, so we're sucking air from up there, not from the tyre. So yeah, that's why we're just obviously got to pull this off now, and we'll clean all this up and weld it. But right now we're just investigating if we've got bolts to actually secure this on. We need a 100mm long bolt if we're going to go the whole way through. But what we could do is we could actually just tap and die it and go, yeah, do it that way. Just screw it in. That has got its issues. It might not be strong enough. We're only going through 4. Yeah, that's 4 mils. 40 by 40 by 4 or 3. Let's call it 3 mils. It's only going through 3 mils of steel, so it's not a huge amount to have gripping. Obviously, it'd be probably better if we could get the whole length. So if that's the case, we might get it up and drilled and ready for bolts, because we can get some in town when we go into town next. We've found some bolts, so this will do. We're gonna have to put a few washers in there to space it out. It'll do. So what we've just done is we've just lifted the motor up and we've just flipped over the steel to get away from the seam. So if I can show you on one of these ones over here, hopefully, you end up with, if you guys can you see that like bump there? So that there is the seam of the metal where it's joined, and you can see it on top here. So it's that line there. What it does is it throws a drill bit off. So if you're, say, coming through and then to get it straight and you hit that seam, it'll push the drill bit away. So we've just flipped it around just to make our life easier. So we're about to pull it off now. Oh, Henry's just marking up the bolt holes, and then we'll pull it off and grind up, weld up, drill, chuck on, bolt up, and the main objective of the day is done. You may have wondered what that spray paint was for. It's just to try and give us the best idea of where our hole was, so we can get our centre. Difficult to try and get the centre when you can't see over top. So we're giving spray paint a go, see if that works. It's before we weld it in place, we're just putting the pump up, putting all the bolts through, and then we can then put it exactly where we want it. While it's in place, I'm going to just tack it these cross beams, or the engine mounts I should say. Then we'll lift it up, get it out, and then I can weld it up properly. So it's in place, and then we're just going to make sure that we've got the steel in the right spot. So I might need to be hit that way a little bit, and then zap, 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 and we'll take her off. So before I get to and start welding, Henry's just measuring up. We're going to put in some cross beams along there, just to give it a bit more support, a bit more structure. We don't have a lot that we're welding. Well, down that end we've got a lot that we're welding to. Up this end there's not a huge amount that's going to be contacted with weld. So we're just going to cut and make little boxes, put them in there, and just give us a bit more strength and us a bit more confidence that it's going to stay there. Eyes? Yep. Eyes? Yep. Yep. Eyes? Yep. Eyes? Yep. Yep, good. Eyes? Yep. And eyes? Yep. Alright, she's all welded up. So I did a beater weld, and then I did a beater weld from the weld to the frame, and then from that weld up to the box there, and hopefully it gives it a bit more strength. And then you can see what you can see now what I was meaning by some struts in between, just to give the thing a bit more structure, so that we don't break a weld or something when you're driving crazy over everything. But the reason we're doing this is obviously because it was predicted for a bit of rain today. 5 to 15 mils is what we've predicted. We woke up with 2 mils. You can probably hear it now, but we're getting a bit of rain at the moment. Which is just fantastic, just amazing to see and hear and just have. So that's why we're in the shed. But we'll wait for this to cool down. We'll clean it up, spray it with some spray paint, and then we'll chuck that on top, bolt her up, and then done. Now you probably are wondering, why are these so long? We're leaving them there until we know where we're going to have our frame, and then if our frame's out here, we can just go straight off that for a strut that comes up. No point cutting it off now. So I think we're going to have it flush, but we're just going to leave it for now, and then we'll just cut them come time. So at the moment we're just drilling some holes for our engine blocks, so rubber mounts, absorption mounts, yeah, we've got to cut these ones out. I just tried it, just drilling it by hand. It's going to be easier, probably on that thing there. And yeah, then when we come to putting it on there, she'll be locked and loaded and set in place. Okay, it's now after lunch. Henry's headed to town because he's getting his, well, not his teeth sorted, but the nerves sorted at least. So best of luck to Henry. Right, so I'm about to mount this up. So I got my bolts, and then you'll see we've got 4 rubber mounts. So one's going to go on top, and then obviously the pump will be in here. And then I'm thinking we'll put one on the bottom like that. and that gives us two things is these bolts are too long, so we'd need to bridge it out with washers, because I think we've got about that much thread shaft exposed, shank I should say. So yeah, we're going to use the rubber mount as a washer, and that will also give the whole thing a bit of vibration. Now I'm going one on top, one on bottom. I'm not sure if that's the best option. Yeah, comment if you know better, because my other thought was if I went one on top and one on bottom of the one on top and below that, would that be better? I'm not too sure, but yeah, I'm just going to go one. Well, you'll see. You'll see. That all went pretty well. So instead of me trying to explain what I was trying to mean, I'll just show you. So this is going to go like that, followed by a washer and a nut. And yes, I need a spring washer. No, I don't have any. I will need to get some when I go to town. And that's my idea there. So that's got, that means the whole bolt is isolated to it. So like the engine, if that makes sense. So it can move up and down like this. If I was just to attach it straight to, well, have no rubber on the bottom, it would just be fixed solid and squished down on that. The other idea was to have that up on top there. I think this one's probably the better way to go. Yeah, you guys let me know. But yeah, so I'm just going to do this up, and then we can explain some things. Pump is mounted up, so our objective for today is complete. We've got that mounted. I just wanted to get that done, and it's done. So what have we got to talk about? Well, I'll just go through everything again very quickly. So this one is drawing from the middle tank. I forgot to mention it in the other one, but we're going to hop in and cut the middle tank. So we'll hop in the middle tank and cut the join between the middle and the front, and the middle and the back, and then that way, and when I say cut, just hole saws, probably a bunch down the bottom, a few in the middle, and a few up top, and that'll make sense in a second. So then the outlet up top here is going to go to a, just hit myself on my steel, is going to go here to a striker nozzle, and it's going to go across there to a striker nozzle. It's also going to come into here so that we can fill ourselves. This pump will be storing our own pipes, so we can pull up to a dam or up to a tank and just hook on, suck it in ourselves. That was the biggest thing about our old fire unit. We couldn't do that. So then we'll cut the tanks in multiple spots so that the water can flow through. This back one here is just going to come straight out, and then that's going to be fast fill option. So here we've got a 4-inch tank. We can just 4-inch pump. We can just plumb that on, fill it straight up from that. Also, whenever you go to a fire, you've got a big fire, we'll have our fast fill units there, and they're 3-inch. So we'll have a 3-inch attachment that we can go onto there and fill into there. And whenever you go to a farmer's farm, you never know what you're going to come up to with tanks, but if we can get, basically 4-inch or 3-inch down to even every fitting possible to get onto anything possible. So if it's a 2-inch tank that we're trying to draw from, we just pull out one of these hoses, put on our adapter to get down to 2-inch, boom, we can either suck into there or we can suck into our pump, because we'll have a T-piece coming off there. Right, so the cannon, I was and still thinking about mounting it right up top there. Two things are deterring me from that: how heavy the bloody thing is, and just looking at where you shoot might not be our best option. I wanted to have it up there because it is the best thing for crew protection. We have instant crew protection there. So if we don't put it there, we're still going to run a pipe up there and have some nozzles so that I can, from the cab, switch it on and activate crew protection. That's a must. This truck is not leaving to go to a fire if it doesn't have crew protection. So a few of you did say mount it up the front, and we've also been talking about mounting it up the front. So again, that's our nozzle. The question is, where do you mount it? Obviously can't mount it right there because you want to be able to get left and right. So do we just put a frame up the front here and come, you know, a little bit higher so you can see the nozzle from the cab. Yeah, there's just a few things that just don't go well with this. Is because this is a 6-wheel drive, you've got a decent bull bar on the front, you will push trees over with it. We've done it with our other one, the old General. We've just driven kilometres in trees with that to get to, you know, fire. Yeah, we've only got small mallee trees around here, nothing big, so it's no issue. But if you have a pipe and a nozzle there, you're going to hurt something. So where we put it is going to be the issue. I don't know, even if we just mount something up here and come up so that you can see it there, maybe that's what we do. And someone did ask what brand of nozzle it is. It's unbranded, it's a Chinese make. Basically just go on Alibaba and search remote fire nozzles and they'll pop up. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off our PTO pump, which is that one just there, and then I can take that to town because I'm going into town tomorrow, and then that way I can go and get a plate for it. Hopefully someone in town's got one. I can just put a plate straight onto that and have that so it's covered up. And I'm also going to take off the pipe and the whole solenoid at the back there, and well I'm pointing at the starter tank, so that's our air starter tank, and I'm going to take that to town and I'm going to get a tap that can fit in there and put that in the line, and we'll give that a go. Yeah, a lot of you guys commented on that, so yeah, we're just going to give that a go and see if that is going to do the job. Hopefully it does. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. So I guess we'll probably leave the video there. It's getting pretty long, I'm imagining. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so that you are notified whenever we release a video, which is typically Monday, Wednesday and Friday, depending on how busy I am or what we're up to. Lately it's been just 2 videos a week, but subscribe so that you are staying up to date to you know, and you see when we are releasing videos on the fire truck. If you want to stick around and see that. Also don't forget to share the video to someone you think might enjoy watching all this sort of stuff, and don't forget to like. So thank you very much everyone, and as always, catch you in the next one.